Hello and welcome. This is going to be a new style of video for me, which is just going to be me talking over and commentating on one of the games I played on BB2. Just basically saying what I've done and what I'm trying to achieve. It's not meant to be a perfect game or an example of like brilliant play or anything like that. It's more a case of just trying to give a little bit of insight into my thought processes and what I'm trying to achieve, even if it doesn't necessarily work. The only thing I say before I get started is if you like this, please let me know. Without feedback, there's no idea whether anyone's even watching it or not, and so I've got no idea whether to make any more. So if you can press like or you can subscribe to the channel if you enjoy it, then that'll help me know whether there's any point doing this kind of thing. Finally, I should again plug my Patreon. So if you really do like this kind of stuff and you want to, contribute a little bit towards me making some more, then I've got a Patreon up, which is linked below. I'm also doing a series of Patreon only World Cup 2019 team guides. So one for each of the 26 teams that are being played or are eligible to be played at the Dawnburn World Cup. And hopefully you might enjoy this. So let's get started. I've got a Chaos Dwarf team here against Dark Elf opposition. There's no skills involved on either team, rookie teams. So can't remember one of the toss now, but I am kicking. Got this little symmetrical setup here. Hobgoblins hidden at the back. Strength 4 guys out wide, so they can, and the fast guys as well, so they can come round to either side if he goes down on the sidelines. Seeing my opponent set up now, it looks like he's decided that he wants to go along the sideline here, which is absolutely fine. I'm more than happy for him to score quickly if he wants to. As a bash team, it's a perfectly reasonable strategy for me to just try and score 2-1 with 2 grinding long drives, scoring us an 8 each time. So we'll have to see what he does. Okay, first thing to mention here is that he has decided to, my opponent decided to blitz with this Witch Elf, which doesn't have block, going into a 1 dice block as well, using a reroll on turn 1. So one of the things you're trying to work out when you're watching your opponent's first turn is what kind of player he is. And so he's left the ball unmarked here as well during that risky play. So immediately I'm thinking here, okay, fine, this guy isn't, he's made a couple of fairly unnecessary mistakes already. So I'm not gonna worry too much about his going early, in the hope that if you want to try to get a measure of your opponent as quickly as possible, then it's much easier to make strategic decisions. So what am I going to do over the course of the next 8 turns or 16 turns or whatever. So what I'm doing here is I'm just making my easy no dice roll required rolls first. Now I've done this thing here, I've done blitz this guy before moving these other people, because I've looked at the position of my other guys and I've realised that I need to move this guy out of the way first before I can get the other guys round. So this Hobgoblin wants to come in here, and then one of these dwarves wants to come into here. Oh. There's only a couple of games ago, I already forgot what happened. Yeah, so this dwarf wants to come in here. And this guy wants to come in here, which meant moving this Hobgoblin first. Yeah, one of the weaknesses of the setup I did was letting him isolate the ball centaur like that. But again, that's only really relevant if he's going for a quick score, which he is, which is fine. So yeah, he just walks this in, and that's 1-0 down. But in 1-0 down in 2 turns, I got Chaos Dwarves, he's got Dark Elves and their skills. I'm thinking great, this is going to be hopefully a very comfortable 2-1 win. We'll have to see where it turns out like that. So what I'm doing here is I'm getting 2 guys back to cover the ball. A couple of reasons for that. One, just in case there's a throw a rock, absolute disaster if you've only got 1 person back and one of the guys goes down to the rock. Second thing is, it allows you to cover the ball where it lands before making the pickup run. Quick snap, not particularly important. I've just moved all these guys in next to the ball, just in case the bounce goes to them and they can try and get a catch on it. Nothing important. You can see I've got these 6 guys in the front here, each going to block diagonally so that if it's a pushback I can get a second block. Just moving this guy over here to try and cover the failed pickup in case that happens. I'm blocking this guy here because this is the side of the pitch that's important, so I'm going to try and drag this dwarf back in there or move him up there, one of the two. So I made, did all my blocks before I made the pickup because the ball was reasonably safe there in case we were double skulls. Or if I failed the 3 at pickup, so I didn't necessarily want to have to use a reroll. Another thing I'm doing here by placing this Swaff here is blocking off this Dark lineman from 2-up dodging away. He's going to need to roll a 3-up if he wants to get out next turn, which is going to increase my opportunity for doing damage. Oh yeah, and I remember this turn from my opponent. So the ball's nicely caged up here, there's no real opportunity for him getting in. Okay, and my opponent here decides to, again, blitz with his non-block player into a tackle zone of a tackle player. So he's wasted another of his rerolls on a completely unnecessary dice roll. You can see that was a 2-up dodge that he failed there. If I hadn't put that guy there, he would have failed. Yeah, so just setting that guy up, he's not going to make the blitz. So there's no harm in being there. I spotted this gap down this sideline here, and because the ball's safely caged, I've decided I'm going to make my 3 go for it with sure feet involved to try and get a real beachhead into his part of the half. And then I'm going to blitz this guy here in a hope to, well, the hope was to push in on there and close this guy in. It didn't work, but I'll go down, so that's fine. So when you're playing against a team like Elves, particularly Dark Elves, you need to try and get forward momentum when you can. If you just mill around in the middle for too long, then they will just wall off the whole length of the pitch and you get stuck on halfway. So there was a mini gap here down this sideline, so I decided to go for it, or try and get as much pressure as soon as possible. But the cage is still here, and I haven't overcommitted down this sideline with the ball yet, in case he does get back round, but still, I'm still threatening to come out this way. Maybe not next turn, but the turn after. Yeah, not standing those guys up before rolling 1 dice block again. demonstrative of some, perhaps not the best play, but you know, blitzing that block again. So I'm just thinking, yeah, this is fine. Just keep on playing normal sensible Blood Bowl. Eventually, this is going to cost my opponent. Okay, so I've spotted what could potentially be a surf here. After rolling that push, so I didn't really want to roll that push, but now that the push has been rolled, there's a potential surf going on up here. I guess I decided not to go for it. Just try and cage up here. It's fun watching your own replays because I must have forgotten what I've done some of these turns. So I'm thinking, oh, I want to do that this turn, and then sometimes I do it. I was thinking, what are me? Okay. Getting the small sword down here stuck is what's an idea from my point of view. So yeah, my opponent here is letting me maximise 2 dice blocks quite effectively, which meant that although I've not made a huge amount of positional movement that turn, I have made momentum in the sense that all these guys are stuck in the middle on my players. So there is a positional advantage to having your guys in front of the opposition. So even though I haven't moved forward very much, getting these 2 guys behind me has helped me. Okay, I think this is an interesting turn. My opponent's left me 2 serfs here, and I think I may got stuck into them or fixated on them a little bit too much. I think it's probably still the right thing to do, but yeah, rolling that 1 in 9 meant I couldn't surf this guy. I still got to surf that guy, but this turn, I'm not sure. So I think I'm not sure. I don't think it is a mistake. I think it's still the right thing to do. If I can surf 2 of the opposition players, then I think my opportunity for moving forward, it's still only turn 5, is still quite good. But as it turned out, I only got 1 of them. So I've dodged this guy out as the last action of a turn. If it fails, no worry, don't need to reroll it. Although I've got 4 rerolls left, so I could have had a free one to go if I wanted to. I've left this guy here, putting this guy in here, aware that he can surf the guy if he really, really wants to, and he does go for it, but that commits every single one of his players to this surf. You can see these guys, all 3 of these guys have moved, which now will be my turn 6 after. It means he's just completely positionally abandoned himself. They should be able to push right through into the centre here without too much trouble. So yeah, getting the small sentinel back involved is excellent. Very useful. Again, I'm just going to form a cage here. So just trying to take these blocks here, keep these guys out of the play, keep them involved, prevent them from coming back round and walling off. The thing I'm really worried about with Dark Elves is them just getting all their players and lining them up in a row, and Chaos Dwarfs, there's not really a lot I can do about that. So having him letting me block all these guys every turn is just absolutely perfect. Got a nice little cage here. There's a potential I didn't move far enough forward this turn. Possibly could have got to here, but with regards to taking all those blocks, it seemed like it was worth it. I mean, this is the thing with Dark Horse, is that he's left me a lot of free blocks, in the sense that only half his team has been in contact. If everybody's in contact, it's not really a free box because you're getting a lot of momentum. We're getting pressure from having me blocked rather than move forward. But having half in, half out is not the best idea, not the most efficient use. But the fact is, effectively got away with it. It means that it's still 10v10 on pitch, so it's quite a difficult position still for Chaos Dwarfs. I mean, that's the nature of Blood Bowl. This is a good move, getting the switch off in here on him. Caused me a lot of trouble. So I decided my turn 7 to come down here. If I can blitz this switch off with tackle, well, I'm going to need to anyway to get the walk area free. It also stops her being a nuisance on the next turn. I didn't actually remember play this turn that well. I remember I ran out of time, and so I kind of panic moved him. That was the nature of the 2 minute turns on BB2. Sometimes catch them unaware. So whether that was the perfect turn, I'm not sure. But I was kind of worried that he'd come round. Maybe there was a chance to blitz the ball, I'm not sure. But in the end, he did not. Couple of stuns. Quite useful. But yeah, you can see the value here of all of these blockers taking these blocks. So even though, you know, I wasn't particularly here, didn't kill anybody, that's fine, because I've gained a huge positional advantage by keeping all these guys tied up together. So even if he'd got all these guys round, it wouldn't have made a difference to my subsequent turn. So pretty simple touchdown in the end. It was just a 3-up handoff with a reroll, and they go for it. Leaving him out of the way. Probably more dice than you really want to be rolling. You know, perfect touchdown if I was rolling the dice. No dice. But 2 rookie teams, it's fine. So, everything's worked to plan so far. 1-1 at half time, my drive. Again, looking just to drive down for 8 turns. Hoping that my opponent continues to be slightly risky in his play and burn a few rerolls up, and then maybe it shouldn't be too difficult. So again, first actions of my turn, no dice draws involved, covering the ball as much as possible. Against Elves is absolutely vital. You just can't be risking anything. Elves can just get you. There's very few dice rolls involved. Well, difficult ones involved. So you just need to mitigate against that before you worry about anything else. Again, blocking diagonally along the line in case there's pushbacks. I've got my little line here protecting the front, which means there's nothing coming through the middle. and I've double banked it here. So where the ball is, I'm double banking my defense effectively as if I'm defending. That's only really a turn 1 thing to do on offense, basically to. So interesting thing here. So yeah, I've got these 2 guys. They're double banking across here to defend my lines, almost as if I was on defense. Second thing here is that I didn't want to give up my blitz, so by moving this guy forward and blitzing this guy, I can protect the ball as well. So I'm not giving up anything. I'm not giving up the protection of the ball by blitzing through with this guy. So that's just a nice little benefit. Sometimes you can be too passive. Lucky enough to pick the ball up, so that's fine. Nice little cage here. Little double bank pivot around here that I can. My opponent's thinking I'm going to come down this sideline. Again, blitzing with the non-block player into tackle zones of tackle players is not your recommended game 1 Dark Elf strategy. Again, my opponent decided to go for it. Burnt a reroll, one of his 2 rerolls on turn 1 on aggressive play. Well, that's absolutely fine. And this is much better use of putting people in positions. Lots of 1 dice blocks here. But it's not particularly troubling to get into a little cage here.
Is the assist going to be enough to come out on top?
What I probably should have done is blitzed there. Moved him for an assist, blocks him. Yeah, so this wasn't this is a bad turn. I 1-in-9 this block, and then I double skulled this block against somebody without block. So that's put my drive in trouble immediately. But you need to start thinking about what I could have done differently. So I probably got a bit greedy on my blitz and decided that this guy wanted to block when it probably would have been better for him to blitz, move around to here, assist him, blocks him. If he goes down, then that marks that assist up. So he could 2 dice him away from there, and suddenly I've got a nice little cage protected. So instead of thinking, oh, my double skulls has been unlucky there, sorry, I'm actually thinking, well, what could I have done differently to mitigate that particular thing? So that's probably what I should have done there. So yeah, ball carrier looking particularly exposed here. That is unfortunately the nature of game 1 Blood Bowl with no skills involved. That yeah, this is a very strange tone from him. Like absolutely no need for that 1 dice block. Like it needed a 5 up to achieve what he wants to achieve, which is to get the assist on the ball carrier. That's absolute lunacy. Again, he uses reroll, and by virtue of doing this 1 dice block, I got away with it effectively. Again, he blitzed with a non-bot player, which he should have done. Yeah, so lucky enough, catch the ball, but that was. I don't feel too lucky there because it's entirely down to his mistakes. Unfortunately, this has left a pretty bad position. So this double skulls, which is, you know, the situation I discussed previously, I could have played better to get out of that situation. Has left me, the play is so stretched everywhere. There's no safe place to put a cage effectively. So can't go here, can't go here, can't go here. So it's really looking like trouble. I think if I remember correctly, what I did this turn, we got the ref on the beginning of this drive, and I got fixated on trying to foul this Witch Elf, and didn't play particularly well. So as I said, because there's no safe place to go, I've had to try and blitz back with the ball carrier here to try and find a little protected spot. Just getting this back around with the assist. Basically, I'm trying to protect my cage here laterally, so rather than just double banking into this cage part, we can protect the cage by having this line of dwarves in contact. So even if he blocks all these dwarves with 2 dice blocks, that's using all his players for assists. Yeah, again, a little 1 dice power to start the turn. Not sure what that was hoping to achieve.
This could be a sack.
Looking quite hairy now. Dark Elves with the ball. A lot of my players tagged up. And when you're playing an opponent like this, who's very obviously not afraid of rolling 1 dices, you need to, even with no rerolls left, you need to pay some respect to that and try to factor that into what's your opponent's gonna do. Okay, so when I was blitzing the ball carrier, so I blocked the Witch Elf here to see whether it would go down or not, freeing up the ball. Before I stood up this person, because didn't want to just stand them up to get surfed before I knew what was going to happen with the Witch Elf. The Witch Elf going down means this guy becomes an assist here, which means suddenly this guy standing up isn't in as much trouble, because it's much harder to get to this square to blitz him off the pitch. So that's why I didn't stand up this guy until after I'd seen the result of this block here. Although the ball's in no tackle zones, I've decided not to pick it up this turn. Because it's in 4 of my tackle zones, and I didn't really think there was anywhere safe to go with it, should it fail. I think that might have been a mistake. Let's just have a look. So I potentially could have picked that ball up and come round to here, or maybe here. The problem with that is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It opens up him to a blitz from there. But if that happens, then he isn't going to be scoring, which is the big problem with him being in the backfield here. It was somebody else getting the ball and giving it to him. So not picking the ball up there was probably a mistake. Yeah, and as you can see from my opponent's following turn, he's got 2 dice blocks all the way along here. Not really to do anything particularly crazy, and now he's got 3 of his assists on the ball rather than 3 of mine, or 4 of mine. So yeah, not picking up the ball there, probably the wrong decision. What I've decided to do here is just stand these guys back up and keep tackle zones on the ball. So with these 3 Dark Elves here, they're not going anywhere this turn. There's no way I can get rid of them to try and pick up the ball this turn. So all I can do is try and cover the ball and then try and get it in the future turn.
They're gathering around that lone player, like halflings round a sandwich.
Just try and get him in there, just to try and pressure all these guys and trap them in. The thing I don't want to do is that these guys are all otherwise free to, if he someone gets the ball, just to run around here or anywhere basically, even just run back here and cage. So by moving this ball centre in here, I'm just pinning everybody into this big ruck. And if I make a giant mess, that's going to be to my advantage. I've got the players with block, I've got the players with tackle and high armour. So theoretically, by just jamming everyone in and crushing it in together, that's going to be to my advantage. There's 4 turns left, so it's still able to think about strategic goals, like what am I going to try and achieve in 2 or 3 turns, rather than just harem and scare them how I'm going to score this turn. Unfortunately, that was another 1 in 9 block, and I killed my own guy. So, never mind. Yeah, so a bit of a swingy turn, 1 in 9 kill myself. Now this, I will admit, just caught me completely off guard. I did not see him going for no reroll, 4-up pickup, 5-up pass. And in the end I just got lucky and got the interception. I think I'm more than happy to give my opponent that 4-up, 5-up opportunity. It's 1 in 6, exactly the same chances of me getting the interception, I guess. But I'm not sure if it's a mistake or not, just not thinking that my opponent's going to go for that. But in the end, I got away with it. Obviously, that becomes the headline then when you're on reception, all your opponent thinks is, oh my god, you're so lucky, regardless of all the other previous double scrolls. So yeah, still in a little bit of trouble here. 2 men down, 2 Dark Elves. So there's not a lot of opportunity for perfect Blood Bowl, caging up everybody, etc. So it's just a case of finding the best position I can. So as you can see, I don't have enough players to cage left. Everybody was either needed to block people away or in tackle zones, like this guy. So there is no X cage going to happen. So knowing that my opponent doesn't have any guard players, I've just had to do this, which is make a little T cage, which doesn't give him a 2 dice block anywhere unless he can remove these guys. So yeah, I've done it with this way. So this corner of the cage is free. This corner is a strength 4 player, so hard to remove. And then this guy's covering assists from this angle. So he's easy to get a 1 dice blitz on me. It's just a case of whether he decides to do that or not. So he's gone for this, gone for the 2 dice block on the Bull Centaur. To get the assist on the Hobgoblin. That's fine. In the end, got away with it there. Dark Elves are out of rerolls at these points, and so every single action is like this. It's basically a, you know, if that 2-up comes earlier, it's game ending. So just all I'm trying to do here is just hang on. Try and make him roll as many dice as possible with no rerolls and hope that something fails. It's my turn 15, so I'm thinking I just need to get into scoring range. That's all that matters. So what I'm trying to do is free up some space for my ball carrier to get out. I was hoping trying to dodge up there and go this way. That was a push, so I had to roll a 1 dice here. Lucky enough to get a POW, which is great, which is really useful. Stunning him as well gives. So stunning him as well means that I'm in such a better position than I was otherwise. So this guy has dodged out successfully, and he's the one with the ball who's going to try and score next turn. So I'm going to come up this sideline here. So what I'm doing now is I'm counting who can get me. So this guy isn't particularly a threat. No rerolls. That's a 3-up, 3-up, 2-up to try and blitz me. I'm happy to give that away. This guy, hopefully going to block with him. So this is the main person I'm worried about blitzing me next turn, and I'm going to count how far away he is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I can see if I do 2 go for it, so I can get out of range of him. Got 1 reroll left in the bank, so that's what I'm going to do. Lucky enough to make it. Rolling this 1 dice, very lucky to get the POW, especially because now following up this guy, I've got coverage. So this guy and this guy, they're banking off all of these players who could otherwise try and get through. So I've done the best I can in that regard. This guy's just coming around here. So again, squash these people in, make it even harder for them to get out. So whilst these guys are all in range, the dice rolls required to get through this little mini screen are really, really great. In the end, he went for something spectacular. Didn't work. And the desired 2-1 scoreline was achieved at the end, although a little bit less securely than I had hoped for. Okay. With 2 players short, there is no real effective 1-turn touchdown against Dark Elves. He's got no rerolls left anyway, so I'm not particularly worried about that. So just gonna set up as normally as possible to cover the riot. And then in the end, I'll spoil the result. He does not get a riot and he does not score. So just talk over this a little bit now. Just going to say thank you all for watching. If you liked this, like and subscribe, and hopefully, if it's pretty popular, I'll do another one. So thank you very much.